Hey everybody, it's me, world-famous comedian Tom Papa. Make sure you go to tompapa.com for my upcoming tour dates and follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Tom Papa so we can be best friends. Today, I'd like to share with you some of my interview with the great Jerry Seinfeld. This was for my show Come to Papa on Sirius XM. The amazing thing about these interviews is how I learn stuff about people who I know even really, really well. And here's Jerry, who's one of my best friends in or out of comedy. I'm not trying to be cool, it's just a fact. And still, so many of his answers really surprise me. It's insightful and hilarious. So enjoy me and my pal, Jerry Seinfeld.
Here's the one thing. Are you recording?
Yeah, you guys. Not yet. I gotta do our intro.
Forget the intro. Here's the one thing that I'm feeling good about lately.
Right.
In America regarding men. We just had a guy come in from XM. I'm not going to mention his name.
Right.
Top executive here.
Big guy.
Ordinary guy, regular guy, but a successful guy who's going places and doing things.
He's a bigwig.
Okay. He's got a hair issue. Right?
Yep.
And men today are just going, the hell with it.
That's right.
They just cut it down.
I'm going tight.
And here's the only remnant of real masculinity that I am seeing in American culture today.
Right.
From men. Is we're going, let me show you exactly where I'm bald. Let me be crystal clear.
Right.
Here's where I have hairs, and here, you can't miss it. Right? No one's trying to do anything.
No comb over.
And it's across social and economic lines.
Yes.
I'm seeing it in the Midwest. I'm seeing it in broke guys, rich guys.
But as a man who is embracing that hair thing himself, I have run into a lot of guys that are transplanting, that are secretly moving the hair from back here up to there, and there's a lot of them.
You want to hear my bit on that?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can remember. It was a good bit, but it was complicated.
Oh. It
was about how somebody gave me a good punchline for it. It may have even been you.
Baseball?
It's like the hair transplant is like the hairs that have bad seats moving down to the good seats in a stadium because the game is almost over.
Right. Exactly. It's so perfect too. I always picture that like in like a rainy game, and all the real people have left, and there's like one guy there doesn't belong.
All right. You want to do your intro?
I could do the intro after. Let's just keep talking.
All right, but this is a natural break here we have.
Oh, okay. This is Come to Papa on Raw Dog, Sirius XM 99. I'm Tom Papa, and my guest is Jerry Seinfeld. My guest today is the actor, writer, producer, comedian, baseball fan.
Hold it.
I did two things there.
What?
I did this little intro thing that we use.
I understand, but I'm noticing you're leading with actor after my name. Would you please switch that around?
I can.
All right.
My guest today is the comedian and baseball fan and my good pal, Jerry Seinfeld.
That's
Jerry
good.
started his career in New York City in
actor, writer, director, producer.
Jerry started his career in New York City in 1976.
That's right.
Giving him 35 years as a professional comedian. After early success as a stand-up, Jerry went on to create Seinfeld, which ran for 9 years, not only one of the most successful shows in television history, but has also permeated the culture in a way that no other show has done.
Well, hang on. Again.
No, not on that one. I'm not letting you take off that. Jerry has maintained a presence on TV and film with The Movies, Comedian, and B-Movie, as a producer of NBC's The Marriage Ref, but all the while maintaining a dedication, passion, and non-stop career as a touring comedian.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you write that?
I did.
Nice.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
When your show ends in 98...
May 14th.
May 14th, 98. That was the last time it aired?
That was the last time a new episode aired,
right.
And also the night Frank Sinatra passed away.
Whoa.
which was interesting. And I always feel like I owe him a favor because it pushed us right off of the front page, which I loved.
Wow.
The show aired, and there was all going to be a whole,
Recap.
twist up of the last episode. And
what did it
should
mean?
have been? I wish it was this.
Right.
And it was just gone because he passed away that night.
Wow.
And they just moved on to that.
You were Farrah Fawcett to his Michael Jackson.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. So when you wake up on May 15th and the whole world is in a frenzy over Sinatra and Seinfeld being over, and everybody, I remember at the time, it was Seinfeld euphoria, and it was just complete. Everyone was feeling one way, but you waking up that morning, what were you feeling when it was over? You spit out the other side of this.
I was walking up Columbus in my neighborhood where I've lived for the same 35 years.
So you would move back to New York before it aired?
No, but I happened
you
to
were
be
here.
there.
Okay.
I've still had my apartment
Right.
there. And I was walking up Columbus, and I walked by one of those restaurants that had a cafe outside. This is May 15th,
Right.
1998.
Right.
And everybody in the cafe gave me a round of applause.
Wow.
And that was the perfect bow for me
Wow.
on the 9 years of the experience. Just
Wow.
people in a New York cafe just applauding,
Yeah.
a job well done, which is all, anything should be. And so that was what I remember when you say May 15th.
Yeah.
I go right to that moment and how good that felt.
Wow.
A sidewalk round of applause.
Yeah.
Just was really nice.
In the town that you started out.
Right,
in
right.
76.
Right in my neighborhood right
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
So,
So were you at all scared or freaked out of like what do I do, or were you
no.
you were completely pretty euphoric yourself? You were
I was pretty euphoric myself
Yeah.
because for the last 5 years of the show, my kind of personal torture was, how do I not screw this up? This has clearly gone very well.
Right.
I need an exit strategy that's makes sense, satisfies me, satisfies the audience. I mean,
for 5 years.
Yeah, for 5 years. Well, or maybe 4 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, this show's a little something different than the usual sitcom. We have a different storyline than
Yeah.
insert average sitcom name here.
Right.
And I got to end this right.
Yeah.
It's like a comedian on stage. You're in the middle of a set.
Yeah.
Here's a bad feeling for a comedian on stage, and this is what it kind of would be.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of your set. You're doing great, and they want you to do 45,
Right.
and you're 30 minutes in. You think, oh, this is really going great. How do I get off? What do I do?
Yeah.
And you've already done the bit you usually close with,
Right.
And how do I get off?
And just thinking that, you change it, you start tightening up a little bit.
Right.
Now you're concentrating on not
So there
screwing it
was
up.
a little torture for me to, and I'm not
then-
talking about what should the last episode be.
No, just-
I'm talking about when do you
Right.
end a show like this?
Right. And you could have kept going at the time.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted nothing more.
There were great forces
Pushing
trying
you.
to get me to continue. And
Right.
I could have.
Yeah.
And the discussion of that, I still find interesting to have.
It's got to be great.
Because it's a sports conversation.
That's
it's like
right.
it's
What
like
if?
we talk about Jeter. Jeter to me is
Yeah.
in the same situation I was in
Yeah.
in 1997.
Interesting. Yeah. How do I get out and make
You've
this-
done it. It's perfect. It's
Right.
already perfect. The only thing left to do is screw it up and be scrambling around the field
Yeah.
on your hands and knees trying to get the ball and throw it to first.
It's a whole new kind of pressure.
Well, it becomes a what do you want thing. It becomes a prioritizing of values.
Right.
What are your values?
Right.
That's what it is. And nothing wrong with who's the MVP, the 2009, the Japanese Godzilla.
Matsui.
Matsui.
Right. MVP,
World Series win.
Right.
Now, there's a great moment there to go, I'm done.
Yeah.
On the other hand, and nothing wrong with going, hey, these guys want you. These guys want you. They're offering this.
But then people remember you in a red uniform with some yellow on it. It's kind of, right?
It's philosophical. I don't think there's a right and wrong here. I think it's philosophical.
It's also what makes it's also what makes the person. Like Matsui, for an example, he says, okay, if I stop doing this, I'm doing what? I'm going home. I'm looking at my wife.
I'm never doing anything this exciting
right.
again, ever. Right. Yes, that's a different pressure.
So when you were making that decision, how much was stand-up and that part of your career part of the mix? How much did that help you make your decision? It
helps a lot.
You're not an actor.
You know you're not going to fall all the way down the hill. There's a branch you can grab as you tumble.
Right. As the rest of the cast goes flying by. You're like, I'm staying a little while.
But let me ask you, because I actually don't even know your answer. If you were Matsui at that moment, and you're the MVP of the World Series,
right.
What would you do?
If I'm Matsui...
Remember, he's not an iconic guy.
No,
he's
not. And he was also a legend in Japan playing for some other team that we don't even know of.
Right.
Right?
The Giants?
Then he's in pinstripes and he's doing the thing for the Yankees.
Was he a Yomiuri Giant?
I think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like the big thing there. That's their Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It was that story I heard about Brett Favre. And Brett Favre was listening to an interview, and he was going fishing, and he was deciding whether or not he was going to quit or not. And he heard, I forget who it was, if it was Boomer or somebody was saying, what he has to realize is when he quits, there is nothing else. There is nothing else.
Right.
And that's when he decided to come back. That was like 3 times ago when he was coming back.
Right.
And I kind of sympathize with those guys because what do they do? There's such a value to being a comedian. I mean, even at my level now, when I go in to read for a part, or if I have some other thing outside of comedy that's going on in my life, in my career, and if there's any kind of shake, if there's any kind of doubt that it may not be successful or I may not get that part, I know that I'm walking into a club that night and I'm still a stand-up comedian, and that's very centering.
Which is why you're not getting the part, but that's another conversation.
Right. There's truth to that.
Yeah, there is.
There is truth to that. So when you come out of your...
the answer to my question is what?
I would say...
Give me Matsui and give me Jeter.
I would say Matsui keeps... If I'm Matsui, I keep going. Because I am not on the TV show Seinfeld. I'm on...
The Yankees are Seinfeld.
But I'm not the lead guy. I'm the guy that played the librarian on Seinfeld.
Okay, all right.
So they give me another gig. I'm going to take another gig. If I'm Derek Jeter, when he was going through those negotiations this summer, there's no way I'm going to put on a Padres uniform.
No, but still,
up.
He's got to decide. Mm-hmm. He's got to decide.
He could have. He could have walked when they weren't giving him his contract immediately. Jeter could have. But I think if I'm Jeter making that decision, I stay and I finish up. If I'm Matsui, I just go and keep on going.
Jeter's got, what, a 2-year contract now?
3.
3.
Yeah.
So you figure you just play those 3 and whatever it is, that's it.
When you're saying how does he not screw it up, I'm thinking how does he do those 3 without it becoming, Ali at the end? 3 years.
Yeah, well, but in baseball, they'll protect him.
Yeah, they can go DH.
They'll protect him, and he can play not every day.
Right. But you, getting back to you deciding to let the show go.
Right.
This is Come to Papa on Raw Dog, Sirius XM 99. I'm Tom Papa, and my guest is Jerry Seinfeld. Were you clear that I'm just going to head back out and get to stand-up?
No, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't do anything for about 1.5 years, 2 years.
Really?
I played pool at Amsterdam Billiards.
Really?
Yeah. I got really good.
So when did you do I'm Telling You for the Last Time, the HBO special?
That summer.
That summer.
Right after the show, I did the tour, and then I shot that in August, and that was my last stand-up.
Whoa! So the show's over. You do that special. You dump all your material.
Right.
And we're now,
imagine that feeling. By the way.
Yeah. No kidding. I'm taking my whole act for 25 years.
Very Buddhist.
Yeah, and I'm out of there.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Now, what always interests me about that question, you decide I'm gonna do my act one last time. I'm retiring all this material, this whole thing. How much of that is just as a challenge to you as a comedian? Well, you say you didn't even know you were going to go do a lot more stand-up at that point. How much of it... My question is this. Anytime a comedian goes through some kind of life change, your act almost becomes irrelevant. You know what I mean? There's certain moments that you have, like, where you shift and you become a different person through the years. Not your whole act, but certain things of your act fall because they're no longer you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when the show's over and you completely have this crazy experience, was that any way tied to dumping your act?
It seemed like a good time to do it
because you that was
just
an old
like,
Jerry.
No, because as you know, you gotta do the Woody Allen shark joke. Mm-hmm. If you don't move forward,
right,
you die.
Right.
And I thought, well, I've achieved this thing. I kind of proven this. Whatever the creative ability doing the show, I need to do the same in this other area too. I need to make new, write new, make new. That's kind of the. If you're going to be in the arts, they should give you like when you get a driver's license, they should give you a little thing, clip it to your belt loop that just says "write new, make new, make new stuff, write new stuff." No sequels, remakes, redos, do-overs, rehashes.
Right.
If you want to be an artist, here's your job.
Yeah.
Make new stuff.
Make new.
Yeah.
But as a comedian, there is that thing about jokes that it takes a while for some jokes to really mature. Right. Some jokes you can have.
I mean, I had to go into the void.
Right.
I had to start over.
Completely.
And plus, I didn't know what I was going to do.
So you do the special, and then you don't get back on stage for a year and a half.
At least. Maybe more.
So what creatively were you thinking during all that time?
Nothing. Playing pool. I was just playing pool.
Just playing pool.
I just needed to, dunk it in a pickle jar.
and just
go, wow, that was intense.
Whew, what just happened? That was weird. Yeah. I took a meeting in Burbank 10 years ago.
Exactly.
And now,
what
do I do?
Yeah. The other thing that was interesting, we don't even have to talk about it though, is that the show wasn't even what it became at that point.
Right.
It became another thing.
It was just
a show that was good, that people liked.
Right.
Maybe, and they liked it a lot. But then 5 years later, it became another thing.
Why?
Because of television and culture, and nothing's appreciated exactly the same in its time as it is in retrospect.
Right.
Because it's easier to see things in retrospect.
Interesting. I wonder if it's also part that TV was changing so drastically. That's when reality starts coming in. That's when the sitcoms start dying off. There's nothing... It really... Talk about timing. There was really a moment there. I mean, there hasn't been a sitcom that's even been close. And there hasn't even been the number of sitcoms on the air since that era. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then to have this great one to look back on, it almost became like, wow.
We were just at the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 90s was kind of the end of television, and that's where we happened to land.
Amazing.
So, just worked out.
Yeah. So you decided to go back on stage. When did you do that?
I was in L.A. I had just driven cross country in a convertible with the top down.
Right.
Just to see if I could do that.
From New York to L.A.?
From New York to L.A.
Uh-huh. What time of year?
And the reason I did that is so that I could say this to you now.
Right.
That's the only reason I did it. I thought I could always say to people, I drove across the country with the top down. It's not fun to do that. Or
did you put it up at all?
No.
Never?
Well, I put it up at night, but not while we were in it. And
hilarious.
We drove through a rainstorm in Oklahoma, and we had these towels, and it was going, what are we doing this for?
Just put the top up.
Me and this buddy of mine, and we have a top. No, but then we can't tell people This is how desperately humans want to brag.
That's
by the way.
hilarious, right?
It's not even bragging. It's just
At least we'll be able to tell people we did it.
yeah, we'll tell people, and we could have put the top up and still told people.
Right.
Who's going to check? Anyway,
So you pull into L.A., you got two red faces.
and we're red.
Two
and-
beats.
and-
You smell like the inside of a Volkswagen.
And rain pelted and just
Bugs in your teeth.
yeah. And I don't know where we were, Texas or something. We realized, hey, Chris Rock and Mario Joyner. Chris is doing a show at the Universal Amphitheater in L.A. Like in 3 days. You think we could get there and we could go to see his show?
Wow.
So we hightail it to L.A. And to see his show. And this was whatever that was. I think it was that first
2000?
second special or whatever that one was. Bigger and Blacker, I guess.
Right.
And so we go to the Universal Amphitheater, which is, this big venue in L.A., very spectacular. And Joyner and Rock, and they do their sets, and they're both great.
Right.
And I'm sitting there in the audience, and I'm in this audience that's rolling.
Right. Yeah.
How strong Rock is, and
Yeah.
Mario too. And I go, so this is what it's like on the other side. This is really fun to be in an audience
Right.
of a comedian who's really got his thing down.
Yeah.
This is really something.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it, and I'm laughing, and it's interesting, and
Comedy's good.
comedy's good. I'm thinking, hey, I could do this. I know how to do that.
If only I hadn't done my act. If
Right.
only I couldn't tell that joke one more time.
And then I decided to take those two twigs and start rubbing them together. And
Wow.
And then I did some commercial, and Christian Charles was there, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going down to Comedy Cellar. I'm going to make a new act. It's going to take me like 2 years."
Wow.
And he says, "Can I film it?" And I said, "All right, yeah, if you want." I said, "It's not going to be good to watch." She says, "I don't care." So that's how that happened. How we made Comedian.
Where was your first set when you came back? Do you remember? Was it at the
I
Cellar?
think it was the Cellar.
Stand Up New York? I remember because I was in the clubs poking around, and you all of a sudden started showing up. And I remember you first showed up, and I was at Cellar in Stand Up New York. And remember a couple times you showed up and didn't go on. You just were kind of checking things out.
Right. Yeah, well, that was the very beginning. Yeah, I just went to watch.
Yeah, I was like, "What is?" Everyone was, "What's he doing? Why isn't he going on? What's going to happen? What is he doing?" And I remember there was a couple times when I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was at Stand Up New York, and I'm on stage, and you can see clearly people walking in through the glass into the bar area from the street. And I'm on stage, and the first time you came in, I was like, "Oh no," and I, made sure I was doing well. And I was like, "Oh, that was pretty good. I got through that," and just passed you. And then the next night, same thing. Next night, I'm up on stage, same thing. Look out! You walk in again. I'm like, "Oh, come on! I can't show them the same jokes I just did, so I've got to try something else." And I came out, and you were like, "You were funny." I was like, "Oh, okay."
How many years are you doing comedy at that point?
At that point,
That's 2000.
That's in 2000. I was doing it for 7 years.
Well, that's pretty young.
Yeah.
I saw this. I looked up on my IMDb. On IMDb, if you go to the person, they also give you quotes from the person if you want. They give you a page of quotes.
Oh, yeah?
So I went and said, "Yeah, I wonder what they've got for me." So I looked up quotes, and there was one in there that I had forgotten about, which was, I always used to say that however many years you've been doing comedy, that's kind of how old you are as a person.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, completely.
When you're doing comedy like 15 years, you have the maturity of a 15-year-old.
15-year-old. It's really true. I know. And you see, that's why when you're up until 8 years of doing it, you still don't know what you're doing because you're an 8-year-old.
You're an 8-year-old, yeah.
So you're 20. You're 35 now.
I'm 35,
you're a
which
man.
is the first age where you're calming down a little bit.
I know. And that's an interesting thing too, because whenever I think about careers, especially in show business and stuff, and you see actors and they get comedians, it seems the older they get, the better they get. There just seems to be ones who really stick with it.
Right.
There just seems to be that kind of a thing that there's a maturity to it. And even like when comedians they were all older. one time.
Sure.
All those guys, when you watch like Jack Benny and George Burns and all those those were men. Those were,
yes.
right?
Well, first of all, they were men sooner in that era than they are in this one. You're 28, you're a man.
Right.
When, Jack Benny's 28. He looks like, we still don't look as mature as he did.
No, we don't.
But everyone in show business is old. Everyone. Because show business is so hard.
Right.
And that's why you see these people on Broadway.
Right.
When they're going to do some Broadway show.
Yeah.
Not the young guys that are doing it now, and they put their picture up there, and then you see them in person. You go, geez, God, this person's so old.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard. Because it takes hard. 20 years just to get going.
I know.
So by the time you're going,
right.
You're 55, and you're just about establishing yourself.
Yeah.
And then, and then everybody knows you, and then everybody wants to use you because your name is well known, and now you're 70.
Right. Where were you guys?
Yeah. So everybody looks horrible in show business, because it's such a hard business.
It is completely hard.
Hey, it's me, Tom Papa. You're listening to my awesome interview with Jerry Seinfeld. And you can also see Jerry and I together on Sunday night on NBC with Season 2 of The Marriage Ref. It's going to be me, Jerry Seinfeld, Ricky Gervais, and Julianne Moore. It's hilarious, and we'll be on Sunday nights all summer long.
This is Come to Papa on Raw Dog Sirius XM 99. I'm Tom Papa, and my guest is Jerry Seinfeld. How is your writing changing now? Is it changing? I mean,
I really thought it was going to. I thought after I did the TV series, well, I have a confidence now that I never had.
Right.
I thought, now I can go up on stage. I really thought I would be a totally different comedian. I would say things I never had the nerve to say.
Right.
And I will go off in areas and do things that... And I'm telling you, not one iota of change, growth, or development of any kind. With all the success I had in the TV series, it helped my act zero. I have not. If I hadn't done the TV series, I'd be doing every word I'm doing now. I'd be doing it the same subjects. I'd be the same persona on stage.
Well, that's more because it was a mistake thinking that. Because you had done a show that you were going to be different as a comedian.
Well, but you think you can make a leap in confidence.
Right.
That's something.
Yeah.
I'm sure Obama.
Yeah.
Even after he's become president.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's the same process when he gives a speech. I'm sure he goes through the same things that he went through when he was a state senator.
Right.
And still, is this working? We should cut that.
Right.
But wait a minute. But you've shown that you can really do this. Confidence it's kind of like a woman. You can no matter how much you compliment her, they don't feel pretty.
Right.
And it's the same with the comedian. No matter how many laughs you get or how much success or money you have, you don't really feel confident.
Yeah. But what's interesting is from the outside, you look at other people and you think, wow, that guy's got so much confidence. Like a good comedian you think is the most confident guy on the planet.
That's just years. That's just age and years and sets.
Right.
That's all it is.
It's experience. You're seeing experience.
Yeah, it's just a number of years of doing it.
Right.
And it's small. It's small.
It's also like the confidence helps you to walk out on a stage and for the people to read that and feel that. But it doesn't help you. If I'm following what you're saying, it doesn't help you internally when you're writing and creating. There's not a confidence there.
No, there's no confidence anywhere.
Right.
When I am on stage, I don't think, hey, it's me. I have a pretty big TV series. I don't think
when a joke bombs, hey, remember me?
No, I don't think that. I'm just like a little puppy at the pound going, does anyone like me? Will someone take me home, please?
Right? How much more time do I have to be up here?
That's right.
You're right.
Still thinking that.
I have to say, for me, that's one of the greatest reliefs of being your friend as a comedian that's only a 17-year-old, is that when I started to realize those things, it kind of calmed me down. Because I started thinking, well, if he isn't feeling that great about himself, and if he hasn't found some secret way to come up with all this material other than writing it every single day. Before I met you, I really felt like I didn't know some kind of secret from somewhere.
Right.
How is Chris Rock doing this? How is Eddie Izzard doing? How are these great people? They know something I don't know. And then when I realized after I was hanging with you, I was like, oh, I know everything there is to know.
That's right.
It's really...
And that to me is so... that what you're describing there is such a utopian environment for me. That I am in a place where there are no secrets.
Right.
And there are no tricks.
Right.
And nobody gets away with anything.
No.
To quote the great Colin Quinn,
yeah,
stand-up comedy is the closest thing to justice in show business.
That's right.
And all the other fields... There's justice, and there's a lot of people getting away with murder. Nobody's getting away with murder in stand-up comedy.
You can't fake it in front of a...
Nobody's been in it in 2-3 years and mowing them down.
Right.
It's not happening.
This is Come to Papa on Raw Dog Sirius XM 99. I'm Tom Papa, and my guest is Jerry Seinfeld. So when you do come back and you start banging out the sets and start writing and all that, how long did it take for you to feel like, all right, I'm a comedian again?
14 months.
14 months.
14 months. I had about...
You were quick with that answer,
Because I remember it.
Yeah.
Because I kept asking Colin,
right,
when am I going to not feel this bad? I feel horrible up there. You know what his answer was? This is a comedian. It's a great answer. He said, when you're on stage... He says, here's how you know you're back. When you're on stage and you're thinking, big deal, I made these assholes laugh.
It's really perfect. Yeah, then you're in a confident, comfortable spot.
Yeah, when you're back to that, so what?
Yeah.
This doesn't count.
Yeah, you guys. Now, when you say that you're like you had been saying all the same kind of things and stuff, there is, from watching you, it seems to me that you do talk about some of the same subjects, but you do talk more about your personal life. There's definitely more stuff about...
Well, I have a personal life.
Right, but before you didn't have a personal life.
I didn't have one to talk about.
Right.
Oh, except dating, which is,
Yeah. But you talk about your family more. And also, it seems like you communicate physically more than you used to.
I think so.
I remember you pretty much... we move a little bit, but it was pretty much straightforward.
Yes, it was.
Stand there and mow them down.
That's true.
And now you communicate. I mean, you're pretty physical.
Yeah.
Does that come from just being in those bigger venues?
It does.
Yeah.
The bigger stages, and you find other ways to get laughs.
Right.
That are not just words and ideas.
Right.
If you walk or do something funny, it's just gives you another tool.
Yeah. It's funny. Did you ever have a feeling of trying not to be physical when you were younger? Like, I just want the words to be the thing?
I think it's comfort.
Mm-hmm.
You relax, still a little more relaxed. You're so stiff in the beginning. You're just like, every muscle is rigid. Right. I think I remember us walking on stage and me showing you how to walk around.
Yeah, with George Wallace.
Oh, really?
The three of us. Yeah, we were someplace.
Yeah.
And it was when I was first starting to open for you. I'd never played a venue, like a 3,000-seat theater in my life. And you guys were like showing me this, where you guys, this was like in this spot here, it was like 20 feet on either side. It's like, this is your sweet spot. And then like if you pull that like into a point, like at the very center upstage part is like, and this is where if you really want to get them on something, you go back there. And I remember like the first time being in the middle of a joke and being not in that spot and like scampering up there. And here's the good part.
Right.
But those shows are amazing. I mean, I always say when people say, what's it like going on those gigs, you really have carved out pretty much like what you saw Rock and Joyner doing when you were driving across country. It's like, those are the sweetest gigs. You're just in this theater, and they're comedy fans, and there's no wait staff, and there's...
Yeah, we were just in Fort Wayne, Indiana last weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, people say, well, where you going next? Mm-hmm. You kind of don't even want to say Fort Wayne. Right. You just go, oh, Indiana,
Because they don't know.
And I don't know either.
Right.
Well, we get to Fort Wayne, which is a lovely town of honest, friendly, hardworking people. And it's not a spectacular place. You know, it's not Paris. It's not San Francisco or Toronto.
Right.
Well, they had this theater there. I'm trying to remember the name. I think it was called the Paradise, and it was paradise. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Because of all these old vaudeville houses that were built in the 20s.
Yeah.
That happens to be the one beautiful thing that they do have in their town.
Right.
And so they restore them.
Right.
And they maintain them. And you come in there and you go, am I in heaven? What is this? You know.
It's really true. Whenever I would meet you, and like if I was coming from the other coast and we didn't travel together, and I would take all these connecting flights, and we'd take, you know, it's just a grind sometimes getting to a small city. You're like, why am I in this place? And then you open that stage door, and the music is playing, the walk-in music, and you hear the crowd starting. And it's so comforting because it doesn't matter where that gig is. You're just like, this is like it's like being in a bath.
Yeah.
It really is.
It is.
You've carved out the same feeling. And that's like when you don't want to tell the friends that I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana, because they don't understand and will never understand that it's the same everywhere.
Right. Well, you had one of my favorite lines about marriage. I remember somebody was asking you about living in L.A. Because you lived in New York all those years, and then you were living in L.A. And
Right.
so what is it like? Where do you live in L.A.? And you go, I'm in Studio City. And you go, what is that like? Maybe it was me asking these stupid questions. And you said, I have a wife, I have kids, and they're in a house. That's where I live.
Right.
When you have a family, that little space bubble, like the Good Witch of the North and the Wizard of Oz, when she comes in, she travels in that bubble.
That's right.
Wherever she goes, she's in that bubble.
Doesn't matter where it is.
Doesn't matter where the bubble is.
I remember when people would ask me that about...
But New York is still better.
Yeah. I do love it. Oh, it's so great.
It's a really beautiful spring day here in New York, and Tom and I were just
it's so
really bathing in it.
You live more walking around the block
Yeah.
on a day like this than you will in 6 months anywhere else. You do.
Yeah, because everybody there is like so intense. What was that? I said something to you. It's like there's so much personal intensity.
Right. No matter what anyone's doing, it's turned up to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, business guys,
And you
hot
feel
dog
it
guy,
as you walk
anything.
down the street.
You're like, I'm a businessman. It's like any other place.
Eat this hot dog.
I'm selling the best hot dogs in the world.
Don't you want a cab?
Look at my heels. These are high heels.
Mine are higher. I had not seen this breed, by the way.
This what?
Before, the one I told you about. I saw some guys on 6th Avenue. We're on 6th Avenue in the 50s here. And I saw some ripped young businessmen.
They're maxed out.
Like, they look like the models from the neck down that you
Right.
see in the ads.
Like weightlifting ads. Or
No.
Oh.
Like you see in the fashion ads.
Oh, okay.
You see the,
Right.
these guys have these great bodies,
Totally
right?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But above the neck, it's just cotton. Because they're just a head full of cotton. Because they're models and they don't have interesting lives.
No.
Well, these guys are executives. Right? They're young executives. They're 25, 28, 32.
Yeah.
And they're in Manhattan, and there's a big fitness culture in Manhattan.
Oh, big time.
You know, well, I live on Central Park West, and I would
Right.
tell you, I can get up at 4 in the morning to take a leak, and my bathroom overlooks the park, and you'll see a peloton of guys training in the park.
Good Lord.
Yeah, because they got to go to work after that, you know. So I saw a few of these guys, and I was like, I almost stopped and went, geez, what the hell are you doing?
I know. It almost makes you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
They're just another kind of maniac, but it's at least, you know, interesting. And I think it's a Manhattan phenomenon. Like, I'm going to kill it professionally, personally, physically, fitness-wise, sexually. You know, I'm on all A's.
We're the best of the best. And then in 4 years, I'll move to New Jersey.
Like Avatar or something, you know. Like, then in 4 years, move to New Jersey, you get fat.
I'll get fat. But I'll have the pictures. It's like going across country in your bug. I can tell people I did it.
Right.
I lived in New York.
Right.
What about raising your kids here? Does you feel like... Can you keep them in a bubble, or is it like an intense...
It's, like everything else in life. There's There's an advantage and there's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
They're more sophisticated, which I like. But they're more sophisticated, which you don't like from your kids.
Yeah, from a 6-year-old.
So you like it, you don't like it, you know.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody the other day how my kids are taking apart commercials now in a way I never did when I was a kid. And I realized, they're getting that from me. Like, I like this commercial, but what is with this guy's pants?
Right.
What is wrong with his pants? You know, so they're doing the same thing now.
It's so funny.
I like the music, but why is he wearing that hat?
My daughter keeps attacking this. We watch this one morning show, and she attacks the weather girl all the time. She's looking right at the thing. She's looking at it. She hates that she's not playing it off and looking at the camera and being like, there's a cold front coming. She looks right there.
Now,
do
you think that's childhood-wide in our culture, or you think it's our kids?
I don't know.
We don't know any other kids.
I don't know any other kids. I don't want to talk to any other kids. This has Come to Papa on Raw Dog, Sirius XM 99. I'm Tom Papa, and my guest is Jerry Seinfeld. Do you see your parents in your kids? Do you see your father in any of them? Because your father was a very funny storyteller kind of guy.
He was. Unfortunately, I do not.
You don't?
I do not.
There's no
My
cow.
father was very well-adjusted, maladjusted guy.
What do you mean?
Well, you know these people who are just always smiling,
right?
Always, great in a room with people, and they're happy, and they're talking to people. He was a salesman, He was a great salesman, born to be a salesman.
Yeah.
They never have good personal lives, those people.
When they're taking their pants off at night in the bedroom with their wife.
It's bad.
So he wasn't that funny around the house?
No, he was funny.
He was.
But those people never excel. Happy-go-lucky, friendly, outgoing people never excel at the nuts and bolts of a real, functioning personal life. Right. They do not excel in that area.
It's so funny. Why not?
They just don't. They have that.
They're exhausted.
We know people like this.
Yeah.
They are like walk in the room and the room lights up.
Woo!
They don't have good relationships. Those people.
Right. They get home with their wife is miserable.
Yeah. They're all over the place. They're just they're for the world. They're to make the world a better place.
Right.
Their life is not going to be good. They're there to improve the world.
And this was your dad?
This was my dad.
Oh, really?
A really solid, functioning interpersonal relationships.
Right.
This is not his thing.
No.
Friendships, marriage, not good at those things.
Did you catch what telling a story was from him, or was there anything from that?
No, I'm not nearly as good as him. Not nearly as
no.
good. No.
Really?
He's was a master joke teller.
Really?
Yeah. He would tell you a joke, As soon as he starts the joke, you're laughing. Right. Those kind of people.
Right.
I can tell a joke, but I'm not that funny.
But there's got to be something. There's got to be some connection. I mean,
no, the only connection is it's fun to make people laugh. That's what I got from him.
Oh, really? And
yeah.
So you found your own way to do it.
Right. Now, my kids are like me, which is they love to laugh. They love to be funny.
Right.
But when someone says hi, they don't really want to say hi back. That's me.
That is you. It's really
Say
true.
hi to the nice man who said hi to you.
I don't like his pants.
Hi. Yeah. He's got weird pants, Dad.
Right. Did you see his pants? I know.
You be nice to those people. Those are nice people.
And they're probably learning that from you,
They're
too.
learning that from me, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. My father would say to my sister and I, he would lecture us. I want to go to the party. My friends are having a party. I don't want to go. I don't want to go to the party.
Right.
I don't think I'll have fun there. You go there and you make it fun. That's why you go to a party. You go to a party and make the party fun for everybody. That's there. Make up your mind to have a good time tonight. We would look at him like, what? How do you do that?
Yeah. Make everybody have fun?
Yeah.
How am I going to do? So none of that wore off on you at all. What about your mom?
Are you kidding?
Was your mom funny at all?
Not really, no.
No?
Very sweet, wonderful lady.
Yeah.
Not really. Enjoys comedy.
Right. But I have to think, like you said, you found out that just being around people, making people laugh, that kind of
Watching him make people laugh.
Yeah.
Not that was what drove me.
Right.
I mean, I saw comedians as a little kid.
Yeah.
Look, when you're a comedian,
right.
the first time you meet another funny kid. We talked about this on the Ricky Gervais's A Talking Funny show, which was a fun thing to talk to a group of comedians.
Yeah.
Remember the first time you met another kid that was funny.
Right.
That's like, now you know what it's like to be gay and meet another gay person. You go, oh my God,
right.
you're into that too?
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone, right?
Who was the first kid you met?
It was a kid in Birch Lane High School, elementary school rather, 3rd grade. His name was Jimmy Tenney. And I know he's out there somewhere.
What was his closing bit?
We made movies, Jimmy Tenney and I.
No way.
We made movies.
Really?
He had a little 8mm camera, and we made secret agent movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Secret agent.
Yeah.
You were obsessed with that, with the spy stuff.
Yeah, obsessed, yeah.
Right?
It was a 60s thing.
It was yeah. I remember you telling me.
I was prime James Bond. I mean, I'm prime.
Yeah.
Thunderball, 67. I was in 7th grade. Are you kidding?
I'm getting a convertible and going to New York. Why is Jerry outside with a briefcase at age 10?
Right.
He's a secret agent.
I am still in that. As I was walking down 6th Avenue, seeing these guys in suits. I mean, I can't wear a suit,
right?
You know, normally
in the middle of the day.
But I love seeing them.
Yeah, I know, it's so great. There's something. Don't
you miss that in L.A.?
Oh, completely.
Nobody in suits.
Nobody. No, like when I first started going to a gym. First started going to the gym here. And I would work out in the morning before we do the marriage ref. I would run into the gym and work out. And when I would be getting dressed, I'd see the guys in the mirror like putting on suits and ties. I was like, oh, that's right. There's real grown-ups here. There's people with real jobs. Like there were men in the gym.
Yeah.
Right?
So is Manhattan just a moon of the United States that orbits?
That's totally outside. It's not tied to any other part of it. It is completely unique. I love it so much, and I don't know if I can get my wife to just stay here.
I think you're a goner.
Why?
Because you were talking to me because you have this L.A. New York controversy with your wife and the kids, and she's still, enjoying the suburban life that you had in L.A. And
yeah.
You have so tipped over. If she tries now to get you out of New York, that is going to be ugly. In your house.
So you say I end up here.
You're a goner. You're done.
I'm not. Yeah.
You can't. You're like a cat who's got his claws into that carpeting.
It's really so true. You take me out there, I might die. I might die on the flight.
There's just certain things of New York. It's that the fantasy in New York is alive of adulthood and grown-ups and jobs.
It is. You can be a grown-up. That's what I love so much about it. You really can be. You can dress up and go out and do grown-up things and come home. You have to feel it. You really
LA's a youth culture. It's completely. Like I have a job, I have responsibilities, but I don't need to look it, baby.
And my Converse All-Stars are telling you so.
Right.
So, what is there any joke right now that is that's got you, that's rattling in your head? Anyone that's really bothering you?
Oh, they're all bothering me.
Anyone that you really anyone?
You mean that I'm trying to wrestle to the ground?
Yeah. Is there any joke that's beating you right now?
They're all beating me. Well, I'm trying to do this thing about tuxedos. I want to do something about that. Whenever you see a tuxedo, you are getting scammed. If you're in an environment where there's a tuxedo, something's up.
Right.
The tuxedo is kind of the toupee of menswear. Something's being hidden, something's being,
It's a con.
It's a casino, it's an auction, it's a charity event, it's a fancy restaurant. What's going on here? Nothing. Nothing's going on here. Just give us the money and go back to your regular life.
But he's in a bow tie.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
when you...
But I've been working a long time to try and figure out... I want to make that point of that tuxedos give me a creepy feeling.
Right.
That was the initial thought.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out a way to do that.
And
I want to do that as a joke.
That's really funny.
Tuxedos creep me out. Somebody's up to something here.
Right.
That's what a tuxedo means.
Yeah. If you're putting on clothes to make me feel impressed, there's something creepy about it.
Well, because there are no elegant, civilized, well-mannered men.
Right.
There are none.
Right,
The only thing we have is the outfits they would wear.
Right.
That's all we have.
If I wasn't a creep.
Yeah. We put these on because we know if they were these types of men, they would wear this.
Right. Oh, that's hilarious. So when you talk about your Derek Jeter moments and with the show, which you successfully pulled that one off.
Well, thank you, Tom.
And now you're in this stage of your career as a comedian.
Not all of my representatives agree with you, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there was...
You know how much money you left on the table?
I'm sure there was a lot of commission talk. Yeah. If he'd only stayed on for 5 more years.
But it is, I mean, not to take you off your question, but it is so interesting to me of what makes a perception, what makes a moment when someone says... someone ends something, someone gets off stage, and it just becomes a thing because of the way it ended or when it ended, when you wanted a little more. Mm-hmm. Somebody said to me that's what made Mark Knopfler such an amazing guitarist. He doesn't play quite as much as you want him to.
Right.
You just want him to just play more, and he doesn't.
Right.
And that's what makes you love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know. I guess because it was such a big thing in my life to try and figure that out in the moment.
Yeah.
When do I end this? And you're inside the organ. It's just hard to do because you can't see the show. I don't even know what these people liked about it so much.
Who did you turn to when you were making that? Did you have anybody in your life that was... Yeah.
The Beatles.
Really?
The Beatles.
They were on speed dial? Or?
Well, no, because the Beatles ended too soon for me.
Uh-huh.
And it was also 9 years. And it was something about the single digit, 10 years. So people say, how many years did you do that show? 10 years. Oh, geez.
Right.
That was a long time.
Right.
How many years did you do that show? 9 years.
Wow.
It seemed a lot less.
It really does.
Yeah,
it really
and
does.
when the Beatles did 9 years, and that hunger for the Beatles that has lasted my whole life.
Right.
Whenever a Beatles song comes on the radio, I reach for the volume and turn it up because I still haven't gotten enough of them.
Wow.
That was really how I made the decision.
Wow.
Beatles, 9 years.
That is amazing.
It's enough.
That is really perfect. That is perfect. And I think that's perfect. Let's end on this, and maybe he'll come back. Maybe he won't. Thank you, Jerry. This was really great.
Thanks, Tommy. You were great.
Thanks.
Well, there it is. I hope you enjoyed the interview. For more, subscribe to SiriusXM at SiriusXM.com and follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Tom Papa. And if I don't see you out on the street, just listen to this next week. See you next time.